We have just over 2 minutes left before we hit sudden death.
Yeah, and just judging by the pace of this game, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Immunity has a pretty good shot at winning this one and tying up this series at 1-1.
Yeah, I definitely think so. That's what we've seen so far. And for those of you unfamiliar with the MLG sudden death system, when this game does reach 15 minutes, if there is a flag out and the game is within one, excuse me, we will see sudden death. But if the game is not within one flag and the flag is not pulled, that game will end at 15 minutes and no sudden death will be entered.
Right. And Buck57 now running the flag, bottom mid, like we said, and he's, you know, definitely close to his base while he was no shields.
All right, that's a great call, you folks, with the bottom middle run. There is quite a bit of structures there, bottom middle. This is going to bring them within one flag cap, and we got ourselves a game here. Buck57 bringing that in and putting some nice shots on Voltage. 2-1 with just over a minute left. Western Wolves has to get a second pull, and they really have to time it perfectly.
Nice grenade there, too, from Buck57. So hopefully Buck57 can communicate to his team that you know, bottom mid run can catch them off guard, and maybe they can get another quick cap in.
Right, I wouldn't be surprised if that's something they use right now and also use tomorrow and Sunday, provided they do make it that far. Now, really nice teamwork. They take out one, and they may be able to take out two. Nice sweep with a DMR from Buck57. Looking for the third. He does get taken out, but they still do have numbers. Buck20 is running the flag. Nice job with the flag kill. Perfect shots. Didn't even take any damage there. Really nice job. He just wants to get this across the map as fast as he can. You see jumping there, he gets it there. They do have 15 seconds, but they cannot let the enemy team get near it to try to get that return.
Looks like a few down now for Western Wolves. Immunity might be able to stop this flag run, but Buck57 picks it up again and is using these covers excellently to dodge those nades.
Great angle there. He knew that the grenades could not hit him, and unluckily someone got his sightline, but we do have a player on JC now running this flag. He's going to try to toss it through. He does not want the flag to get stuck there, and he does get an interesting toss, but I think it fell front of the base. Yes, but they do get a touch. Let's see if he hits this. Buck57 now hits the jump, and they're going to tie it up with 4 seconds remaining before overtime. We are now 2-2, and like we said, we have now entered sudden death overtime. This next flag cap will win. Super clutch play there from Western Wolves.
And I definitely think we're going to see the intensity of this match just amp up. There's going to be shots flying everywhere as Buck57 takes out Heff, but is stuck there. Voltage now running the flag for Immunity, getting that flag kill there.
Yeah, he's with 2 teammates. I would not be surprised if they were able to bring this home. He's going to, of course, take the long lane, and he does get a teammate, Heff, who spawns with him. That's huge. That's one more player on this side of the map. Looks like they're going to try to bring this in there, but their flag is not at home. They're going to have to wait at least 10 seconds to cap this. I'm interested to see if Voltage is going to wait for this flag to reset or if he goes to try to reset himself. Looks like they are going to get this cap. That is going to be it, and that flag does go in. An excellent job there. Immunity, they did not get down on themselves. They blew it on those last 2 caps, but they made sure to just calmly run that third flag across the map, and they win that game 3-2.
And I mean, that's just intense. People, you know, doubting CTF changes, this and that and the other. I mean, that match was amazing.
It really was.
Western Wolves adapted, were able to run those flags bottom mid to catch up, but then Immunity using some great teamwork there to take that final flag cap in.
All right, now we're going to take a look at some stats of this game, and let's see who the story is. Several players on Immunity going big with, look at those 3 players who had 30 kills or more. And then down on Western Wolves, we had some nice play there, but only 1 player on their team going positive. That was JC going 26 and 25. Our next match is going to be Infinity Slayer on Haven. We are tied 1-1. We're going to go to a quick commercial break.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Pre-order now for Xbox 360 and get the Nuketown 2025 map.
All right, guys, we are back after that nail-biter CTF between Immunity and Western Wolves. The series is now tied up at 1-1, and we are going into Infinity Slayer on Haven.
Now, this is going to be a game type that we've seen played actually since May. Back at E3
so
was the first time
no
we saw
longer
this
do you have
unveiled.
to worry as much about
these clean sight lines on the map. Haven, arguably the most competitive and streamlined map. Really excited to see how these two teams played out.
Yeah, and Haven is sort of turning into one of those very versatile maps, sort of like a midship where multiple game types just work beautifully on it.
Sure, and midship, of course, the only map to lend itself to all 5 game types. Interesting to see if more game types are added. I could definitely see King of the Hill, maybe even Ball added to this map, and we already have Regicide, Infinity Slayer, and Capture the Flag being quite popular on it. So, like you said, quite versatile indeed.
And we see JC from Western Wolves getting a nice 5-shot on Ogre there. He might try to lift up the top mid, but he spots Voltage, is going to hesitate on that and stay towards this blue ramp.
Right, of course, as we talked about all series, these teams are super hesitant. They do not want to give one another the lead. It means so much in Halo 4. But as I look across these screens, Euphorics, I see nothing but DMRs. Without a doubt, so far at MLG Dallas, the competitive player's choice has been the DMR. Do you think that is because of the weapon's effectiveness, because of the precision weapon, or rumors? What are you thinking?
I think it's familiarity, a lot of it, and it feels like a really solid gun. It's a gun that you can pick up and you know the mechanics. It's more simple, I think, than the BR,
sure,
in the fact that the BR has somewhat of a spread and then also recoil added to it. The DMR visually is very quick to pick up and adapt to.
Sure, now buck 20 of Western Wolves. His team is down 110 to 60, hopping on this little ledge and getting up to top middle really nicely, and using the jetpack to get help. Decides to challenge Benno. Does a nice job to add a few shots and jukes him with an awesome ninja there. Drops down. Benno drops with the overshield with him and able to throw down. I think that might be testament, buck 20 and buck 57 having had a chance to play this game in Europe a few times.
Yeah, and I think that might be a big momentum shift for Western Wolves here. Off screen, Benno had just gotten a double kill with the beam rifle, got his ordnance, picked up an overshield, dropped down, and was killed. So, yep, and Benno is taken out again, so he might be going cold now, and we can see the Western Wolves start to pick it up and cut down on this lead.
Now buck 20 here, now down by 5 kills. Something we've seen a lot on this map is also the jetpack. Unfortunately, that nade not doing much. Ogre 1 takes out buck 20. We've seen the jetpack a lot on this map, and I think it's awesome to see people really avoiding grenades and avoiding certain situations by using that jetpack. And I'm looking forward to see if that really continues as this tournament progresses. And right now it's 180 to 110 in favor of Immunity. This is kind of the point, Euphorics, where people start getting ordnance drops and momentum starts to either shift or go in the same direction. It's kind of a break point as far as we've seen. It's a little bit before halfway through the game.
Yeah, buck 20 there nearing his ordnance. As we switch back to Benno, who's making a couple of these jumps up to top mid, is going to spot a weak player, but
and he's off.
Oh, yeah.
And he's off. One thing, as you guys see, every time these players spawn, they have the option to respawn now or choose their loadout. Now, you got to wonder, in a 590 to 590, would there ever be a time where, or a close game like that, would there be times, I think there would, where players would choose not to respawn immediately because they don't know exactly where the spawn's going to be, or maybe a teammate spawns on a flank and they know they can spawn with them. They're going to have to select where their respawn is. And of course, in the Halo series and in Halo 4, that respawn decision is constantly evaluated by the game. That changes second by second. So there might be times where we see that strategically used, and I think that's going to be something that's really interesting, Euphorics.
Yeah, there's definitely a choice to be made there, because if you stay in that death cam, you can see where your teammates are and possibly get a glimpse of the enemy team, as we see Benno picking up this beam rifle, but he's quickly taken out. But then you got to think, extra respawn gets you back in the game quicker.
Right.
So you can potentially be helping out your team instead of just getting information. So I think that there is more to that decision than a lot of people just initially assume.
Oh, definitely. And you have to look at players who know the spawn systems in and out. Look at a player like Naded, who really studies things like that. I anticipate a player like that knowing when to use it more than other players, which is really cool to see. And it adds to the knowledge base of when to use that. You kind of have to guess when you might spawn. Look at Benno, really nice job. They're using the jetpack. One of those grenades below him might have taken him out, but he says no with the jetpack. his team is now up 270 to 180 as he's picking up the energy sword, which also has brand new mechanics. Right there, missing a few shots, and smart to go back to cover.
Back off, gets flanked, tries to get the sword, lunges over him. And he does get a wingman for getting some assists there, but he does sacrifice that energy sword to the Western Wolves as we switch on board with Heff now. He's going to take an interesting jetpack route if he can. Can he save it? All right, stays on the map, saves himself the embarrassment there, and he's saying, you know what, I'll just use the ramp.
Yeah. I'll take the stairs, sir. Something we've seen a lot of players just barely stand on the map when they're using the jetpack, because I don't think these players are 100% used to these jetpack mechanics yet. Now Heff of Immunity moving in with his teammate Benno. They find 3 members of Western Wolves, and they get those kills. They're still up 340 to 220, and if it continues like this, no doubt Immunity is going to take this game. What does Western Wolves have to do to get this back?
Honestly, I think this is a case of managing your ordnance. It can really turn the tide if you can sort of hang back, pick up kills, pick up medals, and call in some favorable power weapons for yourself in order to break Immunity's sort of momentum that they have.
Right, FRAGBY there trying to steal the scatter shot off the World Ordnance. Heff says no with his team, and he's going to grab that, trying to move in. The scatter shot shoots so fast, such a powerful weapon, but it doesn't shoot that far.
Right.
He is taken out.
And we did see Benno off screen. He had a beam rifle, got his ordnance, was able to call in speed boost, but he was flanked. It would have been interesting to see how he might have used those two, both a power weapon and a power up in tandem. But unfortunately, Western Wolves just trying to scrap back now. 90 points down with almost 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, certainly a nice job there. Heff to get that kill from the grave and salvage that kill. But it's really going to take a lot of teamwork in addition to managing those ordinances, which kind of work hand in hand. When you're working as a team, you're going to get the personal ordinance, and it kind of spirals together. Excellent shots there. Let's see if Heff can stay alive. Tried to use the jetpack, but that ceiling's a little low, so he didn't get the jetpack up that high. Nice job there. Ogre 1 gets a player weak, and his teammate finishes the kill.
Definitely. Buck 20 on Western Wolves is the closest player to getting ordnance on that team, though JC is a little bit behind on his heels there. So if they can both get it at the same time, we might see a little bit of a momentum shift, but Immunity is really extending this lead.
Yeah, right there, Ogre 1 popping out a little bit too far. The second you see a second person come over that staircase, it's usually too late, and that's what we're seeing. Euphorix, you and I were kind of speculating about it earlier. There's not too much top mid battles. It's surprising. I think it might be the top mid is a little bit too difficult to hold because there are so many openings. We're seeing almost all these battles on the bottom staircases and bottom hallways.
Yeah, and that's just, I think it provides a little more cover that way, as Benno is getting an assassination on the Western Wolves there, and they're just 100 points away from taking this and taking the lead in the series. Ogre 1 picking up that headshot there. Looks like he's going to use this alternate jetpack route to try and get a flank on the Western Wolves and hopefully catch some of these players off guard. Taking a look at his 3 teammates there, sort of choosing when to pounce.
Right.
He's a prey stalking a weakened gazelle in the savannah right now, just picking his moment. That's
an excellent example, Euphorix, as you see all 3 players there all together, and he just patiently waiting to push in because he knows there's going to be a right time when certain players are weak. As I look over my shoulder to take a look at Immunity, they're very calm and they know exactly what they're doing. They're specifically calling out. There's teams throughout MLG history who have had different communication patterns and styles. That's something we're going to talk about, I'm sure, all weekend. But Immunity, very calm, calling out one thing at a time and finishing those kills, where I look over at Western Wolves, not communicating so much.
Right. And Ogre 1 also nearing his ordnance drop, his personal ordnance, so that could really just put his team over the edge and close out this game even quicker.
Right, looking to challenge long range here, throwing grenades through the hallway. That's a new angle that I actually have never seen used. Ogre 1 already inventing new ways to play this map, although it's been played, like we said, since May. That's the first time I've actually seen anyone shoot from that angle. His team is about to close out this game. There's 4 minutes left, but we don't need that time. They're up 570 to 430. This is Western Wolves versus Immunity. Team Europe versus Team Australia here at MLG Dallas.
And do you think it was a little bit of a heartbreak, that last CTF game for Western Wolves, and they're still kind of recovering?
Oh, I tell you, it definitely could be. When I was coaching Triggers Down back at those Orlando 2009 finals, it's so heartbreaking to lose a game that you know you either should have won or even could have won, and you have to get your head right back in the game. And that's often the responsibility of the coach, and of course they don't have anyone standing behind them, so